Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Stuart here from Spain Speaks. Today with lockdown interview video number 2. Today I had a chat with an American couple, Travis and Chantil, who were traveling around Spain when the lockdown occurred, and they've been stuck in an Airbnb in Murcia for the last 46 days. So let's go and check out their story.
Hello.
Hi guys, how are you?
Stuart. Great.
Good.
Will this work? Not too bright?
No, I think it's going to be perfect. Yeah, you got your bike in the background there, so
We do.
everything's
We just
looking
weren't
good.
sure if it was rubbing it in too much to be outside.
No, that's okay. It's okay. The weather's good down there?
It is great. Yeah, it's been beautiful.
Yes.
All right, good.
Birds are chirping and sky is mostly blue.
So I'll just get a bit of a background on you guys. Travis and Chantil, you're over here from the States traveling around Spain and you got caught in the lockdown.
That's
Yes.
correct. Yep.
And what's the situation been like so far?
Well, it was probably on like the 13th that we started noticing effects from the coronavirus. We were staying on the internet and we were getting news, but we didn't realize how drastic it was until we came to a gas station and they wouldn't let individuals inside. They were only passing things through the little security door, and then like a day after that, we realized that wow, Spain's going to go into a complete travel ban lockdown. And unfortunately, we were able to reach out to an Airbnb in about 3 hours south of us because Cartagena was the next spot we wanted to go see anyhow.
Yep.
So then we chose an Airbnb that was out in the country, and then fortunately, the hostess was incredibly generous enough to let us live in her guest house during this pandemic.
She was worried a little bit as we were emailing back and forth, but yeah, having these two people coming traveling from another country into our place, and so she asked quite a few questions.
Mostly
Yeah.
about our health. She wanted to make sure we weren't sick or needed hospital. I mean, all good intentions.
Yes, she's an amazing lady.
Yeah, it's been incredibly. She's been incredibly generous.
You've been able to communicate okay? She speaks English all right?
She
Incredible
does.
English.
Yeah. Her and her kids all speak English really well. So.
All right, fantastic. So you guys from the States originally, I think you said yesterday from Colorado and Idaho, was that right?
That's
correct. Yeah.
Yes.
So what brought you to Spain?
Well, I worked a little bit in Germany for 2 years, and just traveling in Europe just kind of fueled our wanderlust. We realized once I got to a point where we could travel full time, like we started in 2020, we just wanted to see more of Europe. Spain is one of those countries we've only traveled to twice, just for the standard tourism stuff. We went to Barcelona and Valencia and the Canary Islands, but we never really had an opportunity to come and experience Spain on the motorcycle. So we were excited to do that.
That's good. And what places did you see before we got locked down?
Well, we've traveled a lot of. We came through Iceland. We shipped our bikes to Iceland, and then we enjoyed 18 days there. This was a couple of years ago, and then we just took the ferry, and that's how we got to mainland Europe.
Okay.
So we've made motorcycle trips through the Swiss Alps, through the Balkans, most of the UK and Ireland, but we've never gone far south as southern France or Spain.
So in Spain, you've been around Catalonia, Andorra, I think you said?
That's correct. Yeah. So, yeah, we were only in Spain for about a week before the lockdown happened.
But we've seen pretty cool stuff. We saw and the artist
Salvador Dali.
Salvador Dali.
Dali on the coast there. Yeah.
Yeah, we saw
sure.
both his house and his museum.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive. Great time there. We went out to the lighthouse while we were there at there, seeing his house, which was pretty cool out there. Nobody's out there, and it was just a great place to be.
Yeah, beautiful. I mean, we've been very impressed with Spain thus far.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We also went to Eco Mono, or Homo, I guess they call it.
Oh yeah,
But
where
it's
they have that strange painting. Oh
Yeah, the strange painting.
Yes.
But we
So
were,
that made international news in the United States, of course. So
of course, so that's
yeah.
why we were like, we need to check it out.
we had to come see that
yeah.
in Borja.
In Borgia, yeah. But it was actually, I'm pretty impressed how many people all over the world have come just to see that painting. I was pretty impressed with that.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people have come on the back of the botched reparation work that was done.
Yeah,
Yes, yes,
for sure.
exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Exactly.
looks a
And
bit
then
looks a bit strange now.
and then
Correct.
there's a canyon that we've been to here that we've actually been twice to it, and we just love this canyon.
Yeah.
It's just a small little canyon, and it's just the water has run down it, and it's made beautiful grooves.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous, and so we've been there twice now, and we love it.
Yeah. Well, Spain is actually it's a very compact country, and there's a lot of things to see. Probably, coming from the States are so big. I come from Australia. It's also a huge place. It's difficult to see everything. But in Spain, you've got that compact nature that you can travel from north to south fairly easily, from east to west, and you've got mountains, you've got coast, so there are plenty of things to see. You've got the monuments and all of those things as well. So there's plenty of things to see once we get out of lockdown, and you'll be able to hopefully travel a bit again.
I hope so.
That's our hope. I think one of our main concerns is that infrastructure won't be available for some time. My guess is tourism's going to be kind of low on the priority list, not for people that are in the tourism industry. I'm sure they're chomping at the bit to get everything back in normal, but
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
I just don't know if the central government will allow it. We'll see.
Yeah, I think it sort of depends on. I mean, I don't think anybody really knows how this is going to pan out. It'd probably be a bit optimistic to say that things are going to get back to normal like we knew 3 or 4 months ago. But there are a lot of people pushing for some type of opening to hotels and bars and restaurants. But again, nobody knows the how safe that's going to be.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Yeah,
true.
for
So
sure.
we can only hope for the best.
We
That's it.
have reached out to the consulate. The U.S. consulate said that our visas are basically the 90 days that we have under the Schengen agreement.
Yeah.
Because we did arrive in Germany, but we're here with the Schengen visa, and they said as of the 15th, those days don't count against us while we're in the state of alarm.
Okay.
So we're hoping we'll be able to see a lot more of Spain before our time runs up. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, there is talk of the state alarm being extended. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to play out either, but hopefully there'll be a little bit of maybe some type of freedom of movement. Maybe you'll be able to get out and do some exercise or something, which we haven't been able to do until next Sunday apparently.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So what are you guys doing to keep sane? Lots of Netflix and podcasts and things like that.
Well, we've established for our travels. We've established a social media presence with viajar.com, viajarmoto.com.
Yeah.
So I've been working pretty extensively on that part of it, especially travel videos on YouTube. So during the first 2 or 3 weeks of travel, we created quite a lot of video and footage. I just didn't have a chance to edit it.
Okay, cool. So you've got a YouTube channel up and running with your adventures?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
All right, good. We'll give it a plug. What's the name?
I got a sticker right here. It's if you just look up viajarmoto.com, you'll find it.
Okay, all right, cool. Viajarmoto.com.
We got a link to YouTube and all that. So.
Good.
We've been working many hours on that.
Yeah, that's it. Good. So
it's nice. I think a lot of people are using this time for creative outlets, and that's kind of what we've done as well.
Yeah, well, I've been busier than ever creating videos. I was doing about one every 2 weeks before, and now I do one every 2 days. So it's been a bit hectic in that front, but I suppose it's gives you something to do.
But we're grateful for it because we tune into your channel all the time.
For sure.
Yeah.
We just came across your channel when we're here, but it's been a wealth of information. So thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a few people get in contact that they hadn't seen the channel before, and they are enjoying the news summary, let's say, so they have an idea of what's going on, because it's a bit confusing. I don't know whether you've been watching any Spanish TV or whether you speak any Spanish, but the Spanish news can be a bit confusing.
Yeah, muy pequeño.
Yeah.
That's it. So what's the plan? Are you guys going to, planning to travel a bit more, or the idea is to head back to the States ASAP, or?
Well, we're just taking it day by day. We're hoping that the infrastructure for campsites and hotels will be open, and then if that's the case, we'll continue to travel, and you could spend a lifetime in Spain and still not see all of it.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think we've just decided that we'll slow down and just enjoy Spain.
Yeah.
Good,
And I think we talked with Maria about staying here for a little bit and just kind of taking a daily adventures to see how things are going out there. So we may, after the lockdown's open, we may stay at just venture out for a couple weeks before we actually head out of and do whatever. But our
Good.
goal is to keep traveling. But if it ends up being that we can't, then we may have to go back to the States just to travel back there for a while and then come back.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think the visa is probably the biggest concern.
Yeah.
Like, we can only stay as long as our visa's good. So
yeah.
as long
Yeah, well,
as
that's
they-
it. That's it. Yeah. So you've got that. What is it? 90 days on a Schengen visa, you said?
That's correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then for an American, that's automatically granted with our passport
Okay.
once we arrive in the Schengen countries.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then is there any way you can go to like the UK and come back in and get another 3 months? Does it work like that?
Well, it's no more than 90 days within the last 180 days.
Okay.
So you can go
Okay.
in and out, in and out. That's what our plans were at first.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
it's changed.
yeah, for many people that are restricted by the 90 days, like you just said, they use UK
And
as an
then
opportunity to get
Morocco
outside, or
and-
Morocco or the Balkans.
Yeah,
Something
yeah,
like that.
yeah. Well, I suppose, you guys having the bike there in the background, you can travel around those countries as well, I suppose, right?
For sure,
We're-
yeah, for sure.
yeah.
That's it. That's
We're
it.
hoping. Yeah.
That's right. Good. And you mentioned you've been in contact with the U.S. consulate or the embassy. Are they providing support?
They're kind of on an emergency only basis, but they do. The both times I've called, I've gotten somebody immediately.
So somebody
they've been
picks up
very-
the phone?
Absolutely, yep. And we're able to have a conversation, and we talk about the same concern. So I've called them twice now, and they still say the same thing, that, hey, don't worry about your visa. Your visa, the days aren't counting against you right now.
Yeah.
Our concern was that once the state of alarm was over, that they would basically grant all travelers 30 days to get out of the country. But in both conversations I've had, that's not the case.
Okay. Cool.
That's good.
And all of those other things, I suppose, there's no problem getting food and no problem going to the supermarket. Nobody stopped you. The police haven't stopped you at all.
Well, we've had some stories going to the supermarket, but no, I did get stopped one time, and I was parking my bike, and the
Yeah.
policeman came up and he says, "What's going on?" I mean, he said it in Spanish. I was like, "I'm only English." I said Airbnb, and I said Supermercado, and he's like, "Okay."
Yeah. Okay, good.
So yeah,
I think
Yeah.
on our plates, our
Yeah.
plates are state plates. So
Oh, really?
it is from out of the country. So
Oh,
yeah, we're
okay.
from Florida, so it's like
yeah,
it's like a big red flag.
we stick out, I'm sure, with Florida plates on our motorcycles.
Yeah, I've had at least 4 or 5 other people contact me saying that they're in motorhomes traveling around Spain. I've heard of
Yeah.
stories that were, people that were doing the Camino de Santiago and got stuck doing that,
Yeah.
A lot of people traveling. I mean, one of Spain's biggest industries is tourism. I think last year 95 million people coming through the country. So, I mean, if you think about how many people possibly are in a similar situation to yours that didn't have a chance to get out, or it sort of crept up on people because basically it did. In Spain we went from virtually nothing on a Sunday to a lockdown the following Saturday. So
Yeah.
it really came on quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. I wouldn't say it caught us off guard, but it definitely surprising, like you said, how quickly it went from, all
Open
right,
to shut
coronavirus is a thing, to we're shutting down the entire country.
Yeah, well, I think that's a common element around the world. I mean, you can see probably nearly every country in Europe, probably the States as well. I don't know what Canada's dealing with, how Canada's dealing with the situation, but I think every country was caught a little bit off guard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
And that's it. And there's some places that are better to be than others at the moment. And unfortunately, you've probably seen in some of the videos that I've said that Spain's one of the strictest lockdowns in the world, in the sense that you can't even really go for a walk. So,
Yeah.
in that sense, it's a little bit negative, I suppose.
Well, I saw videos of people caning people for being out and about. So we haven't got caned yet. So
Yeah, well, well, if you compare Spain, I mean, a lot of people have been critical, saying Spain, Spain's, too strict and blah, blah, blah. But if you compare it to countries like Thailand or probably even India, where I saw they were hitting people with sticks,
Yeah, exactly.
we haven't got to that stage yet, but
Yes.
to be honest, I don't think it ever will. But it's a difficult situation for the government to deal with, and I suppose their objective is to keep everybody safe.
Yeah. They're doing-
Sure.
That's it.
And most likely they're doing the best they can. So
Yeah, well, that's it. As I said, I don't think any government was prepared. They didn't have the hospitals weren't prepared. Everybody, it's easy to look back, and say we should have done this, that, or the other. But and the reality is that it's just not sometimes possible to do, and it is what it is, and we just got to do what we have to do.
Yeah, for us, it's been an interesting ride because we always had a question in the back of our mind: should we have left? But we still feel like we're fine
the right
here.
path, yeah.
I just feel like every country's dealing with it their own way, and there really isn't a better solution to me, other than just writing it out.
That's it. I think that's all we can do, and hopefully, as we've said, that there's some type of ease up on the horizon, and we're able to go back to some type of not what we were doing before, but maybe just some type of get a bit of exercise in, or be allowed to travel around a little bit more than we currently are.
Right.
We're looking forward to seeing more of beautiful Spain.
Yes.
Well, that's it. So hopefully for you guys that the situation changes, sooner rather than later, and you're able to get back on the bike and experience what Spain has to offer.
For sure. Looking forward to it, Stuart. Absolutely.
All right, great. So great talking to you guys, and we'll keep in touch.
Thank you, Stuart.
All right, see you later. Have a good day.
For sure. Take care.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Now there we go, another lockdown story. Thanks to Travis and Chantil for that. Now if anybody wants to appear in one of these lockdown interviews, there's a link in the section below. Just get in contact with me and we'll see if we can organise a video. Questions or comments, please leave them in the section below. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego.